Hi, my name is Danny Felton, and I'm the branch manager at NID Housing Counseling Agency, Florida, Felton. We're located in the city of Miami Gardens, Florida, and I'm just excited to actually work in this field of housing counseling. I think there's no greater feeling to be able to assist someone that felt as if they could not attain the dream of home ownership. Owning a home seemed to be impossible, and to be able to sit down with them and go through their credit and look at their income and, to do an affordability study to put them on the right path to be able to purchase a home. I think that's priceless for me. Originally, I started as a mortgage loan originator. I've been in the housing industry for over 30 years. And being a housing counselor is so parallel to the work that I was doing. What I found myself doing when I was qualifying individuals that, going through their income and going through their credit and just really determining their debt to income ratio and their affordability, many a times individuals did not qualify. And so I found myself educating them on things that they could do to improve their credit, to improve their affordability. And I had the opportunity of creating a homebuyer club. Had no knowledge of the home housing counseling arena, but I was just had a homebuyer club, and we were helping each other, or we were in educating the individuals that attended the class on, just how to purchase a home. After I found out about the housing counseling industry, I was like, wow, you know what? That's I'm already housing counseling. I'm already counseling individuals. So, it just worked hand in hand. I did not have to do anything other than get the certification, but I was already familiar with the process. I was already working with individuals, helping them to better their opportunities to be homeowners. So, I'm excited that I made the addition to the disciplines that I already had by becoming a housing counselor, and I was able to help and continue to help so many individuals just to feel as though, this dream of homeownership being impossible is now a reality. The most challenging part of the certification process was just really just learning the the regulatory rules. Like I said, I had already been qualifying people from the lending standpoint in terms of being mortgage ready, but then just really talking about affordability, understanding the different rules and guidelines that housing counselors need to be aware of. It sort of went hand in hand, but just trying to sort of differentiating the two between housing counseling and mortgage loan originating qualifying individuals was a little bit of an adjustment, but it was an easy fix. But the most rewarding part of this is just being able to witness individuals to get their own keys. It's one thing to, rent a property and you pay someone else's mortgage, but it's a totally different feeling when you have the opportunity to drive up to your property, a property that you own, that you get to benefit from the equity in it, a property that you get to raise your family in. There's no sense of gratitude. There's no commission. There's no payment that can be made that's more rewarding than witnessing individuals to purchase a home. I've had individuals that I've counseled that, they just felt this, all they heard was no. And to be able to sit them down and say, hey, I don't believe in no, I believe in not right now. Right. And so we were able to look at and create an action plan of things that they needed to do if they were serious about becoming homeowners, and to really have the opportunity to share that information, to empower them and educate them on becoming a homeowner. And then 3 months later, 6 months later, to see that individual get their own keys, and then to watch their families be able to benefit and say, hey, you know what, daddy, I got my own room. I have my own house. I'm the first generation individual that have been able to purchase a home. There's no greater feeling than that for me. Well, becoming a HUD-certified counselor was really about just studying the material. I took a couple of practice exams. I studied the workbooks. But I think after, going through the practice exams and scoring pretty strong on it, I felt as though, hey, you know what, I'm ready to sit for the exam. I sat for the exam and I was able to pass it. But I encourage anyone, if you're interested in becoming a housing counselor or HUD certified housing counselor to study the material. You know, and one of the things that I actually I had a study partner. So it's always good to be in groups, and if you it depends on your study style. Now, if you're a good test taker, then you know you may knock it out by just studying the materials. But for me, the cue cards and being able to, you know, have a study person that we can kind of share how we go about remembering the things that we need to know in order to answer the questions, formulas, being able to the calculations, the laws. You know, there were things that we had to learn in ways that we put in place to learn those things that was very helpful. So once you get that state exam under your belt, it's just a matter of now going to work and making an impact in the communities that you're located in. I stay updated with the current changes in the market, but I do a lot of reading. I attend HUD seminars and webinars that they have. I'm always getting information as it relates to the new regulations, the new updates from HUD, and so I'm constantly reading, you know, because I understand, you know, this real estate market is ever changing. You know, when we talk about qualifications, when we talk about lending guidelines, when we talk about debt to income ratios, when we talk about credit scoring models, all of those are things that you have to stay current in if you're going to be relevant in today's market of housing counseling. You know, I feel that one of the biggest challenges that clients face is just the reality of believing that they can actually purchase a home. You know, a lot of times I'm running into individuals, and because, you know, no one has did it in their family, or they don't know anyone that owns a home, they feel as though it's impossible. You know, they feel like you need to have a whole lot of money. They feel like you need to, you need to be, making a certain amount of income. But when you really dig down into it and you're able to educate them on, you know, what it takes to qualify, when you're able to educate them on programs and products are available to assist them to become a homeowner. When we talk about down payment assistance and layering programs so that mortgage can be affordable, I think that that's the myth that we have to demystify, you know, by educating them on the process. So having a class, having them to attend the homebuyer education workshop allows them to understand the importance of credit, understand budgeting, understand the mortgage process, understand the real estate process, understand all of the individuals that are involved as far as the home inspector, the title company, the insurance agent, and then topping it off by educating them on how to access other people's money, down payment assistance. And there are some programs that you can stack and layer these programs to make affordability a reality, regardless of their income, regardless of their credit score. You know, there are programs that are available that we can help to offset the debt service where they can actually qualify for a home based upon their current income. Well, those are two totally opposites. You know, when you have that first time home buyer, they have a sense of fear, yet they have this sense of excitement to know that, hey, I'm about to accomplish something that I didn't think I could do. I'm about to get my own keys. I'm about to create wealth, generational wealth, something that I could actually benefit from watching the equity grow and being able to not only just build that wealth, but keep that wealth and then pass it on to my child. That's an experience that a person feels. And I tell you, you know, when they come back to my office and they tell me, hey, man, I bought my house 10 years ago and I just paid it off. Or, hey, I bought my house and the market appreciated so much. I have over $200,000 of equity. That's a feeling that a first time home buyer has, which is far different than an individual that's facing foreclosure. I mean, I understand, and you got to be totally sensitive to both situations. A first-time home buyer feels this excitement, but then that individual that's going through foreclosure has fear. So now you have to be sensitive to their needs, understanding how did you get here? You know, and many people have unforeseen circumstances that got them in these situations, whether it was a death of a family member, whether it was a divorce, maybe they got laid off from their job. something happened that created them to have this hardship. And I tell them, you know what? It's called life. Life happens. But when life happens, the worst thing that you can do is not respond to it. So it's just a matter of being able to educate them on, hey, you know what? We can get through this. Maybe we need to have a conversation with your lender to try to make modify your existing loan. Or is there anything that we can do to increase your income to create a better affordability? Because at the end of the day, I always say to them, banks are not in the business to take people's homes. Banks are in the business to make money, and they make money by charging interest. So their goal was to collect the interest over this 30-year period of time. So if I can keep you in this house, then guess what? They're willing to allow you to continue to pay the interest that they're going to earn. So what I have to kind of educate them on that, and make them realize that, what, it's not us against them, but we have to provide them with a situation that shows them that, hey, this is a good credit risk. If we're able to transfer, or if we're able to modify, or if we're able to do some sort of adjustment to this person's principal balance and stretch it out over a longer period of time, maybe adjust the interest rate, maybe put some of the unpaid principal on the back, that then gives this person the ability to remain in their property. And then we continue to get back on track and collect our mortgage payments. So being able to educate that individual is very key, and you have to be sensitive to their needs. As a housing counseling agency, I consider myself a person of faith, a person that um, is able to look at a situation and look at it being half full or being positive versus negative. And so, as a housing counselor, you're able to work with individuals, you're able to educate them. And I'll never forget an opportunity I had to meet with a family. The family had gone to um, two other agencies, and they were told no. They hadn't had housing counselors. They went to different lenders, and the lender said no. Another lender said no, but they came to me for counseling, and I was able to assist them. And what was interesting was that the gentleman had his daughter with him. She was an 8-year-old girl. And once we went through the process and I educated them on things that they needed to do, I gave him homework. I say, hey, here's an action plan. If you do this, you do this, and you do this, and you come back and see me in 6 months, we'll be able to get you a home. Well, guess what? That gentleman left. Him and his wife, they got together. They modified, they paid off some of their credit. They consolidated some of their bills. They satisfied some of the delinquent things that they had on their credit. Credit scores went up, and they came back and saw me. Well, what was interesting was that gentleman was successful in purchasing a home, and his daughter came up to me and said, "Thank you for helping my daddy get this house." And that gentleman broke down and cried. I will never forget that as long as I'm in this industry. And it's situations like that that causes me to say, hey, this work that you do is bigger than anything else that happens to you. It's about being able to pour into the individuals and see the impact and see the efforts that your efforts become situations of people's success. So I'm grateful. I measure success one family at a time. When I'm able to see a family achieve home ownership and get their own keys and not their landlord's keys, that's success for me. When I see someone that maybe had an issue with their credit and I was able to assist them and provide information for them to improve their credit, and then they come back to me and say, hey, you know what? My credit score went up 150 points. That's success for me. When I see an individual that on the verge of losing their home and they didn't know what to do, and they come to my office with a stack of envelopes that they haven't been opening up the papers from the mortgage company, and we sit down and say, no, we got to respond. We got to communicate with them. And for us to get that mortgage company on the phone and work out a modification for them, that's success for me. So it's about creating impact. And every time I'm able to see a person purchase a home, keep a home, that's called the success that I look for in this industry. I can't express how important it is for an individual to attend a home buyer education workshop. I mean, understanding the value of credit, understanding what a budget is, and understanding that it's just a spending plan. You know, that, hey, if my outgo exceeds my income, then my upkeep will be my downfall. I need to be able to see this. So I need to put it on paper. So just being able to take small steps such as that and educating them on that process is one big step towards a bigger goal of achieving home ownership. So I encourage everyone to, attend a class. It's worth it.